Something strange is happening right now, not just in deep space, but here on Earth. For weeks, the world's most powerful telescopes have turned their gaze toward a single interstellar visitor, the object known as 3I Atlas. It was supposed to be routine, another comet, another cold traveler from the stars. But what astronomers have found, or rather, what they refuse to share, has turned the scientific world inside out. NASA has gone silent. China has locked down its data streams. And yet, 3I Atlas keeps burning brighter, shifting colors, and disobeying every known law of celestial behavior. High-resolution images exist, taken from orbiters near Mars, but both governments have refused to release them. The question is why? What did they see? What could be so extraordinary that two rival space agencies would rather bury the truth than explain it? It began quietly with a paper by Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, the same scientist who once suggested that Oumuamua might have been artificial. His new study, published without fanfare, analyzed data from NASA's stereo craft, the SOHO Solar Observatory, and the GOES-19 satellite. All three captured images of 3I Atlas as it swung past the Sun. What they recorded defied logic. The object's brightness increased exponentially, following a curve proportional to the inverse of its solar distance raised to the power of 7.5. In simple terms, the closer it got to the Sun, the brighter it became, not gradually, but explosively, as if something inside it had awakened. Its color changed too, from red to green, then to a blinding blue, brighter than the Sun itself. For a comet or asteroid, that's impossible. It wasn't reflecting light. It was generating it. At first, astronomers believed they could track every nuance of this strange behavior. NASA had spacecraft positioned perfectly for observation, including orbiters around Mars. But just as those spacecraft were scheduled to transmit images, NASA's data feed went dark during a government shutdown. Then China fell silent too. No shutdown, no failure, no explanation. The Purple Mountain Observatory, the Deep Space Network, even China's Mars orbiter, all stopped releasing data. Entire logs vanished from the National Astronomical Data Center. Officially, instruments were reallocated. Unofficially, insiders said the data had been reclassified as strategic, the same category used for near-Earth threats. Panic rippled through the international astronomy community. India's WAN agency leaked that their radar arrays had registered a sudden drop in signal strength just before 3I Atlas vanished behind the Sun, an event some described as a burst of energy, or even a maneuver. Other observatories tried to compensate. Subaru in Japan, Gaia in Europe. But without shared raw data, the world was flying blind. Still, the light curve told its own story. Sharp geometric spikes, not random, not chaotic, structured. Each flare followed perfect multiples, like a heartbeat keeping time with some unseen metronome. And that's when the whispers began. What if this silence wasn't scientific? What if it was political? Rumors exploded online. Some said China's hidden data proved 3I Atlas wasn't a rock at all, but a machine. Anonymous researchers claimed that the object's signals were interfering with military frequencies, triggering automatic rerouting to classified networks. Yet 3I Atlas posed no immediate danger. It was millions of kilometers away. So why the secrecy? What if the missing Mars orbiter images showed symmetry, panels, structure, emission arrays? What if that radiant blue wasn't reflection, but propulsion? Meanwhile, Europe's Southern Observatory confirmed the impossible. 3I Atlas was still brightening, even after passing perihelion, when normal comets fade. Whatever it wasn't burning out. It was coming alive. Then, it returned. Weeks after disappearing behind the Sun, 3I Atlas re-emerged, brighter, sharper, change. Amateur astronomers across South America and Europe were the first to notice. What should have been a dying comet blazed instead like a miniature star, 10 times brighter than Venus. Photographs revealed something impossible: geometry. Two glowing arcs forming a perfect right angle. The light pulsed once every 248 seconds, matching the interval of earlier radio anomalies. Each pulse released ultraviolet radiation strong enough to ionize nearby space. It wasn't random outgassing. It was deliberate. Controlled. Scientists began calling it the reactivation event. Others had another name: the awakening. Then, a leak hit the internet. Compressed files uploaded anonymously to a private astrophysics forum in Singapore. Metadata traced back to China's Tianwen-1 orbiter. Inside, 3 infrared images captured during the object's perihelion. The outline wasn't irregular. It was hexagonal. Each side emitted light independently, creating a rippling wave that moved across its surface. Infrared data estimated internal temperatures above 1400 Kelvin, far beyond what ice or rock could survive. And the object had shifted course by 0.09 degrees immediately after the ultraviolet flash. That's not debris. That's navigation. Within hours, the post vanished. Accounts deleted. But screenshots spread faster than fire. For the first time, the world saw what China might have been hiding: not a comet, but an engineered construct. NASA, ESA, and CNSA dismissed the images as fabrications, but refused to release their own. The silence only deepened suspicion. Theories multiplied. Was 3I Atlas an ancient interstellar probe? A remnant from a civilization older than Earth? Some called it a reconnaissance craft, sent to map habitable systems. Then, the interference began. Observatories across continents detected synchronized electromagnetic noise. Each spike aligned exactly with the 248-second pulse. But the interference wasn't strongest when telescopes faced the object, it was strongest when they looked away. Something was transmitting from behind it. When the James Webb Space Telescope finally regained line of sight, it ran a full 19-hour spectral scan. What it found shattered all doubt. The light itself carried structure, tiny wavelength shifts forming a repeating sequence of prime numbers. It wasn't random radiation. It was information. Encoded within that data, coordinates. A precise celestial address. Destination, Kepler 186f. A planet 580 light-years away. Earth-like. Habitable. The same target China had secretly scanned 2 years prior. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a message. 3I Atlas hadn't merely arrived, it had been sent. For months, the world held its breath. NASA gave no interviews. ESA redirected its scopes. China issued one cryptic line: "Further analysis is ongoing." Then, 3 weeks after the object faded beyond Mars, new images appeared. Official this time, supposedly from an international partnership, but the metadata pointed straight back to Tianwen-1. The photos were stunning. Against the void floated a perfect hexagon, glowing blue along its edges. The pulse remained, every 248 seconds. But now, each flash broke into intricate microburst. Their ratios followed the Fibonacci sequence, the mathematical fingerprint of life and growth, from seashells to galaxies. The realization hit like a tidal wave: the light was data. A living equation. Yet within that reflection was something else, a small sphere, orbiting close, moving in perfect synchrony. At first, dismissed as debris, until Webb's data showed it anticipating the pulses by milliseconds. That isn't reflection. That's command. The sphere wasn't following the hexagon. It was controlling it. In late December, researchers from Shanghai cross-referenced the light pulses with earlier radio signals. When overlaid, they formed a single, seamless binary code. The decoded pattern became an image, points of light, like stars, with one marked at the center. Coordinates: Kepler 186f. China's leaked memo described 3I Atlas as an intelligent autonomous mechanism of non-terrestrial origin. Its transmissions, they said, contained data packages representing biological spectral profiles, maps of carbon-based ecosystems. In short, it was sending maps of life. The memo was deleted, denied, erased. But the damage was done. 3I Atlas was no comet. No rock. No accident. It was a messenger. And perhaps, China's silence wasn't to hide what they found, but to prepare for what's next. Now, as 3I Atlas drifts beyond Jupiter, it still pulses faintly every 248 seconds. Those who know where to look can still see it. And with each flicker, one question echoes across our fragile planet. Was it watching us, or waiting for us? Because maybe, the greatest secret isn't that we discovered something out there, but that something out there has already discovered us. Subscribe. Stay vigilant. Because the next time that pulse reaches Earth, it may not be light we receive. It may be a reply.